let's talk about DMX a little bit because he just passed away recently. It's very
Right.
tragic. It's an emotional roller coaster for the hip hop community, for the fans, for his family.
Right.
First, he was announced dead prematurely. He was, in a coma in the hospital. I think it was like a Thursday, or it was either Wednesday or Thursday, but there was a rumor and it was being tweeted. And then the family lawyer actually made a statement and said, no, he's still hanging on. We did not pull the plug. Don't say he's dead right now. And then 10 hours later, literally, they were like, okay, now he's
Well, no.
dead.
What
And news
what
came out.
happened was he went into the hospital. Everybody said he went into the hospital and he was on assisted breathing, right? And then the lawyer came out and said he's not on assisted breathing anymore. He's breathing on his own. So
Right.
everybody got hyped because they thought that he was going to pull through,
Right. Right.
right?
Right.
And then
They recanted.
they recanted that, and then I think a day or two later they announced that he didn't have any new brain function, and he actually passed away.
Right.
Okay. So,
Yes. Yeah,
there's a
man.
lot to unpack here. There is new music tied to this. There is a documentary that's coming out. There's a lot of DMX things happening, but condolences to his family, condolences to, everyone who knew him and was friends with him. And then, of course, the fans of his music and his movies are, mourning him. His streams went up really high. You were telling me that, Keith. Um,
Yeah, right, Rod. Rod, I got that from Rod.
oh,
Rod
you got
was
that from Rod. Okay.
like
No,
nine
for
hundred
sure. I
percent.
think I know. I think it was over. It was almost 1,000%. It was like 960 something percent. His streams had went up since his passing, which as long as he owns some of his publishing, and I would definitely hope that, because with that, a lot of that money is going to his family, because he had a huge family. I think he had like 15 kids.
Right.
So there was that rumor about Jay-Z buying his publishing and selling it,
Right.
Yeah,
Jay and
and
Beyonce together
yeah,
or something. Right.
yeah, but
that's not true, right?
no, it's
Is
not
it
true.
true?
Okay.
Not true.
Now, what?
That's
At least not.
unfortunate.
At least not yet. Who
Right.
Right,
knows?
right. That's
And
Another
true.
who?
rumor that I think is true is that Def Jam has a completed DMX album. That's also a rumor, but
I don't know if it would it be
you know,
Def Jam, because his last couple albums weren't on Def Jam, right? Is
I
it saying
heard Def
Def
Jam.
Jam is?
But that's what the
Okay.
rumor is, but maybe it's that part's wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe that part
Well,
is wrong.
I know him and Swizz have been working on music for at least a year now.
Right.
Because I remember when Swizz was talking about yeah, me and X are back in the studio, and there was
I saw
even
some
some.
footage.
Right.
I think that's what they're referring to. So it's not like, oh, he was in the middle of a few things here and there, and then we're just going to grab everything that's usable and put it together. I think like they really had been working on a project, so that would have come out soon. So and it's either almost or was completed. So now they
Right.
just got to decide what to do with it,
Hey,
market it, mix it.
here's a thing that I just thought of, right? Um, when X helped birth Versus, right?
Hmm.
Because if you think about it, the first battle, right? The first battle before Versus was a machine,
Hmm.
was Swizz versus Just Blaze,
Hmm.
Oh,
right? Do you remember that?
was it Swizz versus Blaze or
Who?
Swizz versus Timberland?
No, it was Swizz versus Just Blaze.
Okay.
It was Just
Was
Blaze.
Timberland the second one? Because those were close.
I don't remember. I don't remember Swizz battling Timberland. Was that one? You're
Somebody
talking.
battled Timberland. I remember his name being in
I thought it was
Okay.
Swizz and Timberland.
No, listen.
there.
This
We
is
do quick
before
search.
it was even called Versus.
Okay.
They had been talking on Twitter or Instagram or whatever, and it was like, yo, I'll battle you, whatever. So there's a video. You can find the video.
Hmm.
And the way that Swizz supposedly won this battle is
Hmm.
because he pulled out a song that
Hmm.
was, I think, Jay-Z, Jadakiss, somebody else, and DMX. And no one had heard this song before. And
Wow.
Swizz played it, and it was fire, right? And
Hmm.
also people hadn't heard
That's
DMX in a
crazy.
while, and it
Hmm.
was like, yo, that's crazy, right? So that song helped not only solidify that battle, but to blow it up to a point where I think Swizz got the spark in his head, like, yo, we can make this into something like more.
Right.
And then versus, Timberland and Swizz got together, and then verses were birthed, and now we are where we are with it. And they did a deal with Apple. Now they have to deal with Trilla, and you know. So
I'm a little confused because I looked at Wikipedia. You know that's contributed to, and it can be wrong.
sure.
They have Timberland and Swiss Beats as creating verses
Yes.
and as the producers of Versus TV.
Yes.
So
I-
maybe
that-
Timberland
I-
was the first one.
No, I'm telling you, it was Swizz and Just
And
Blaze.
Blaze.
I'm not talking about a versus battle. I'm talking about
right.
they had a battle before they made verses.
Okay.
And then that made Swizz and Timberland think to make verses.
Okay.
Ooh.
So-
We got.
There's definitely a HBO documentary in the works. When that would come out, we don't know, but they already had been working on it for years and years. Of course, it's a documentary. They didn't just say like, "Oh, DMX passed away, let's make a documentary." Like they were working on this, so now that's going to be worked on. We'll see when that comes out.
Word up.
Yeah.
So what else? I mean, what else do you guys feel, or were you feeling when you got the news that DMX had passed?
I was hurt. I didn't. I got to work with him on the TV show. I wasn't hurt because of. I was hurt because he reminded me of, certain people in my life that were around me that were super talented, and you want them to win, but they just keep,
Struggling.
they got this internal thing that they just cannot shake no matter, and they're good people. You know what I mean? It's just that they just can't, and there's so many people, that I know that's like that. I understood what he was going through them and through my experience through them, like,
Yeah.
and so I was really hurt. His joint my favorite joint of his first one is the Get At Me Dog. I'm in the gym. My dog's at. But yeah, man.
Yeah, he had a lot of joints, man. X was dope, and he had his own style, which was another thing that made him really dope at the point in time that
Stood
he
out.
came out. Because it was something really refreshing and brand new. And then there were people that imitated his style or borrowed from his style after that. But he was
His style's interesting because it's kind of like conversational, like a lot of rappers have one tone and we call them monotone delivery, right? The monotone rappers. So everything is in the same level cadence, same notes that you choose, and you just kind of, and I guess they want to focus on the words, focus on the lyrics, the punchlines, the things I'm saying. But he was like, this, he's like going up, going down.
Yeah.
Changing,
His
he'll be
inflections
super
was
quiet.
like,
He'll be like, get
yeah.
up. He'll be a little loud, and then he'll be like, really soft, So
But you heard every
storytelling.
word.
That's what the word I'm trying to look for.
Yeah.
You
Storytelling.
heard every word about him, man. You heard every word that he said, man.
What's interesting to me, I always think about this. Did his rhyme style influence the way he talked, or does the way he just talks, totally dictate his rhyme style? Because you could think that, this is how I rhyme, right? And then it works so well. This is just me all the time now, right? This is how I'm going to talk. But maybe he just talked like that his entire life, and he just rapped how he talked.
raps. Yeah.
He just rapped like he, you know what I'm saying? Because he really did talk like that. He rapped the same way.
Yeah. It's you're right, G. It's like conversational, right?
It's inflection. It's telling the story.
Yeah.
It's not just saying the word, but changing the emotion and the volume and how you're saying it. You're
Right,
like a good
right.
storyteller. Like when someone's doing a voice, audio book or reading a story,
Right.
they
Right.
into it. He
Right,
went in the
right.
booth and delivered like that. He told the story.
Yeah.
So that's why it had a
definitely.
lot of emotional impact, and that's why he stood out. And there's other artists that do that, and they have a different way of doing it too. But
Right.
when he did that, like, you can instantly know who you're listening to as well.
Yeah, exactly. Signature style,
Right.
voice, presence, flow. He was an MC.
Yeah. Now, Russell Simmons says that DMX saved Def Jam,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
he
he
now
did say
feels
that.
bad. Like he could have done better for him as an artist. Not sure if he means like I could have given him a better record deal and more money, or I could have supported him in some other way. I'm not sure what he
Yeah,
means.
some type of guidance, or I don't know. I watched him drop a little video talking about how X came home. Maybe he was in rehab or maybe he was in jail or whatever, but he from directly from wherever he was institutionalized to where Russell needed him to be to talk
Right.
to some gang members, to quell the situation. And he, without missing a beat, he was there. And what did Swiss say? Swizz said, he said, DMX lived his life for us, for
Mm.
people. You know what I mean? And that's what I got from him when we did that third watch, just like behind the scenes. Rod, you came G, did you come too?
I didn't come. No, no.
Yeah, so
I've
that's
seen
what
the
I got.
episode though.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
saw it.
that's what I got from him. Just like, and the way he talked to people, and he did speak that way, you
Yeah, yeah.
And his short
know,
statements,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
pauses. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
You can hear him when you hear him on interviews or on a talk show or something. You can hear like you can just totally hear his rhyme style in his spoken voice.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Yeah.
Black Rob, who was also around, really
Yeah,
big
I saw
same
that
time.
video.
He's
Hmm.
currently sick and he's hospitalized. He's
No,
not on
he's
life
out the
support or
hospital.
nothing. He's fine. Oh, he's
He's
out
out of the
now.
hospital. Yeah.
Oh,
Is
great,
he?
great.
Yeah.
That's
So
good. I don't
wish
even
them a
know. I didn't
speedy
even know what was
recovery.
up with him. Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't. They didn't say what he had,
I
but
know he's had like a series of strokes. Like he's had like
Yeah. Yeah.
four in
Multiple.
like 5 years or 5 and 4 years. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
5 and 4 years, something like that. So he's not too healthy. But
right.
he gave DMX a shout out. I remember, whoa.
But before we
Yeah.
even talk about that, Wild Child, you were telling us about Styles P and the Hip Hop Union. I found that very
Right.
interesting.
Right, yeah. I mean, I don't know if he's gonna do it, but I read somewhere where Styles was like, "Yo, this just can't be. Like, we need to start some type of union so that our artists, our comrades are taken care of, or
They
and
have
that's
healthcare
interesting.
representation and
Healthcare, some
bring
representation,
other careers in.
advocates. It's like, and it's and Rod was mentioning how it's the corporations go after the young artists so they can, attract the younger
It's the same
demographic.
thing as gangs, right? Like,
Right.
gangs, your shooter or your young boy, right, is who you send to go do the dirt because one, they'll get less jail time than you would, and two, they don't know no better and they're just trying to be down, right? So you go
How you
after
know about
these
the gang culture?
so you go so you go after the young kids
Allegedly.
because they're
Allegedly.
naive and because they want something or they need something and it's easier to get them to acquiesce or to do what you want without them doing their due diligence and getting a good lawyer or they just don't have the information and the knowledge
Right.
to make
Right.
sure that they put themselves in the right place. And if they don't, well, there's another kid down the block who's young and stupid and I'll go get him instead.
Right.
So how does that relate to the union, the hip hop union, Rod? Because you were bringing that in.
Well, if there was a hip hop, if there was some type of union in place, right, and you're automatically in that union, then now you have the resources to go to them as soon as you get a record deal. If you go to a job, if you go to a city job, right, and
Mhm.
you're automatically in the union, and if you feel like your employer is doing something wrong by you, or or you they're not making sure that your health care needs are taken care of or whatever,
Right.
you can go to your union and find out what's what. And they'll advocate for you and they'll fight for you and they'll make sure that everything is good where you're at.
Right.
Uh, that would be the same thing with a hip hop union. They would make sure.
Yeah.
One, I think the main thing, right? Not your lawyer, not making sure that your deal is right, any of that. I think it's all about health, right? Because when you get a deal, you don't have health care.
Right. You're
You're
independent.
Right. You're not making there's no one there, there's no structure in place to make sure that you're taken care of or that you're healthy. And the label should want this too, right? Because a healthy artist can do more. Or maybe
Have
they
a
don't.
longer career.
Yeah, but maybe they don't. Maybe they want you to be drugged up because they feel like you make your best music when you're on lean or when you're smoking or when you're doing this, that, the other. You're just you're a commodity to be used up, and then once you're used
Discarded.
up, once you're used up, then they'll find a new battery to to
Yeah.
drain.
Yeah.
So it's up to us as individuals to make sure that, yeah, who's making sure that I have some type of 401k in place, who's making sure that I have money, because every artist thinks, yo, I'm gonna make this album and then the next album's gonna go platinum, then the album after that's gonna go platinum. What if you're one hit wonder, right? So you should so every song that you make or every deal that you make, you should be taking a percentage of that and putting it away or investing it in some way so that you know that there is something afterwards. If
Right.
if Allen Iverson didn't have that friend that took the money from that Reebok deal and said that he can't touch this until after he turns 50, Allen Iverson would be in the same place that Black Rob is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because somebody made sure that the money was put away.
okay.
There was something put away so that he would be able to bounce back after you blew all your money because you're young and you're stupid and you want to buy this car and live in this house and fly on this private jet for
Right,
what?
right. So I mean, there's unions for like actors, right?
Hmm.
That do that.
It was for the same reason, because actors didn't have a retirement,
exactly,
didn't have health care, and they didn't get paid an even amount.
exactly,
And it was just like whatever they could get over on it
exactly.
sometimes. So they created the union, the actors union, right? Actors
Right,
Guild.
right,
Oh,
right,
It,
right.
I think and I think it's all up to the gatekeepers, right? The people that have gotten to the place where they have 400, 500, $1 billion to put something in place where the artists are now buying into a union. You have to
Right.
buy in. You have to pay dues, right? Every artist has to pay dues, whether you're a small artist or a big artist.
right.
You
I
pay.
wonder if we can connect, like, so Styles was vocal about it, and I think people who can make that happen, people like Will Smith,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah, Diddy,
like
Jay Z,
Diddy,
There's
Jigga.
plenty
there's
of
tons of
successful enough
artists.
people that could do
Yeah,
this.
and not just artists, right?
The
You
problem
could you
is
could
those artists aren't the ones who need it, and so it might not be high on their priority
No,
to.
but that's what I'm saying. That like Rod was talking about, like somebody who up in the higher echelon in the game who
or
could like help.
or even the corporations, right? Like
Mhm.
like a Spotify who wants to always make themselves feel like they're for the artist, right? These streaming services that allow you to go direct to consumer without a label, or even an independent artist or a distributor like an Empire or like a United Masters. They want the artist to feel like they're for the artist. You don't need a record label to make it. You can do this all on your own. Yeah, well, help us put this in
Provide
place.
those other
Provide those
Right.
things, and then we'll be like, yeah, you're absolutely right now, because I don't need the label. If I did have the label, at least I'd have some more money to back me up.
Hmm.
But if I'm doing it on my own, I don't have that initial capital, that what do you call the advance? I don't have that advance to start me off. So at least I can go get a checkup, or go to the dentist and get my teeth fixed, or whatever it
Yeah,
is. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Preach, brother. Preach, brother. What's that on your arm? What's that on your arm, my brother? What's that on your arm?
What this?
Yeah, what's that on your arm right there?
MCMI.
Of course, Black Rob's biggest hit was "Whoa." Everybody freestyled over that beat back in the day. That was like his craziest anthem, right? That's the
Right,
anthem.
right,
That's the
right.
party shopper. So, what are the DMX songs?
I'm be
Iconic
interested. I want
tracks.
to see what people write in. I want to see what people write in.
All
For
right.
me,
So
was
I
get
won't
at
even.
me, dog.
Yeah.
Mhm.
For you, was "Get at Me, Dog."
Yeah, yeah. For me, was that
Money, Power, and Respect, if you count that.
4, 3, 2, 1.
4, 3, 2, 1, absolutely. Absolutely. But that's not his song,
But
right?
those
That's
are
not his
those are
joint,
down
but
the
that
lines.
he did a bust of rhymes on that one.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think I will say "Stop Drop."
Oh,
Right?
the
That's the Rough
anthem.
Riders joint.
Rough
yeah,
Riders
yeah,
Anthem, yeah.
Yeah. I'm a teacher. I remember the kids. That was a big one that they all knew at the time in that era. You know.
Did y'all watch the Rough Riders Chronicles?
Nah, I never saw that.
What's
That's
it on?
deep.
What
It's
platform?
on YouTube.
Okay.
I've seen
Is
it
it
on
recent
YouTube.
or is it from a while ago?
It's pretty
It's like-
recent. I mean, there's a few months, at least a few months.
Yeah. Yeah. At least like December.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's watch it
Um,
and let's talk about it on another
Yeah,
MC.
yeah.